Hi, my name is Valerie, bridal gown designer, and I'm here to just do a quick chit chat about life. Life is becoming very difficult. We are going through very difficult economic times, and we know that we are headed for a recession. However, love still happens and people are still getting married. So how do you get married in these difficult times? Here are some 5 tips on how to have a wedding on a budget. It's okay to have a low-cost budget. Nobody is going to put a gun to your head just because you did not spend $1,000,000 shillings or $1,000,000 whatever on your wedding. So have a low-cost budget. Here are some places you can cut on. Number 1, you can have a church wedding instead of a garden wedding. For some weird reason, the licenses for getting married in church is actually much cheaper and a less cumbersome process compared to having a garden wedding. Garden weddings go anywhere from, I think they're about 30,000. The last time I checked. Church weddings can cost you probably 1,500 or 2,000 Kenya shillings. Second, cut down on your bridal party, because think about it. If you have a huge bridal party, you will need probably like 5-10 cars to ferry them from one location to another. So if you reduce on your bridal party, you might just need maybe 1 or 2 cars, and those cars you can borrow from friends, and they don't have to be fancy cars. You just need to get from point A to point B. That's all that matters. Third, have your wedding and everything for the day in one venue. First of all, that saves on fuel. You probably moving from the place of ceremony to where you're going to take your photos, and then also from where you're going to take your photos back to the reception and all that hula baloo. So if you can get a venue that accommodates everything, where you have your reception, you have your photo sessions, you have your service, your ceremony, your morning service, and everything in one place, that will actually cut on costs quite a bit. Number 4, live streaming is actually an option in terms of cutting out the number of guests, because I think there's this tendency that we need to have 300, 400, 500 guests. Some of them we probably have never met in our lives, but thankfully for COVID, we have been able to establish or come across the concept of live streaming our weddings. So you can put a budget aside for live streaming your wedding, which is still cheaper than having 500 people at your wedding. Last but not least, you can actually have one ceremony. As Africans, I know there's a tendency, not a tendency, but we normally have the traditional wedding and we have the white wedding. What if you decide to have everything in one? Who said our traditional weddings are not legitimate? You can actually sign official certificates and official documentation at your traditional wedding. And this has been a trend that has increasingly been happening, where people choose to just have the traditional wedding, and that is where everything happens and we're happy. Yes, so do one ceremony, have everybody you want, everybody, your friends, relatives, everyone can come for the traditional ceremony, and you are married, and you can go and start your life happily ever after. So there you have it. Quick tips on how to save money or how to have a wedding during this difficult economic times.